Hello there, I'm Thomas Hatsios, German-American pilot flying the Embraer 195 and Embraer 175 models in Explain 11 tonight. I will show you the full flight from takeoff, climb, cruises, and approach and landing. I'm gonna show you how to use the systems of the Embraer aircraft to start the engines, the APU, the auxiliary power unit, the electrical system, the hydraulic, the fuel system, the pressurizer system from the engines and from the APU. Also the ADIRU, the air data reference unit, the cabin pressurization and oxygen systems. I will show you also the displays. I will show you the primary flight displays, airspeed gated, barometric altitude, vertical rate of climb, and descent of the aircraft. I will show you also the navigation display, the GPS position, the flight plan we're gonna create using the flight management computer of the aircraft that fly around our own aircraft, the terrain. Also, I'm gonna show you the ECAM, electronic centralized aircraft monitoring displays with all the systems, engines, electrical, hydraulic, fuel, and other systems like the flight controls. I will show you how to use the flight controls to fly the aircraft, how to use the yoke or the size and also the horizontal tail trim stabilizer. Also, you also how to create a flight plan using the flight management computer. Right now I'm gonna create a flight plan. I'm gonna use during the flight, also connect the autopilot in flight. It's gonna be followed by the autopilot in the LNAV and the VNAV modes. So I'm gonna start right now. Stay with me at the end part of the video. So you know, we can see we can climb and we can descend if we deflect. We have a yoke or a side stick. You can see how much it deflects. You can see the thrust levers for the engines over here. The parking brakes. I'm gonna use all the flaps here. For takeoff. You can see also the thrust levers. You can see the reverse. You can see the speed brakes over here. The positions. We need to retract. So I will show you a couple of systems. You can see the Embraer aircraft over here. Embraer 195 over here. You can see flight control modes. Power plant, ignition. So we have the thrust levers. We have the displays. I will show you a couple of systems we need in the overhead. We can start the APU. Leave this in the auto position. Some lights also. The head-up display. So we're gonna set the flight management computer. You have the APU on, the bleeder also. Hydraulics on. Windshield heat and ice protection, wing and engine. And the ice on. So we have pressurizer, we have also pressurization is gonna be in the auto position, cabin pressurization. So we're gonna see here, we have the flight management computer. Gonna set up the flight plan right now. So the status, word explain, index, we're gonna use CLKC, back to Casey. Direct to, so we have departures, select departures, gonna use our own runway over here. .345, so the runway is gonna be that, runway 34. So gonna use runway 34 left and mount 7 or the standard instrument departure. So we go departures arrivals again, select arrivals, ILS 16 left, transpy and Hawk Zen 3. So we have other legs. Cancel out the discontinuity here. We have index, cruise descent, climb. So this is it, and we're ready for takeoff. I've set the flaps for takeoff over here. Now we have the autopilot also. Gonna set after takeoff is already preset. I use the flight director on. So we are gonna be ready for the departure. So this is Thomas Hatsios, German-American pilot flying the Embraer 195. It's a nice flight with the Explain 11, Seattle Tacoma International Airport, runway 34 and left. Gonna be flying now. We're ready for takeoff, so stay with me till the end part of the video. So you're gonna see now. So we're ready. Advance all the thrust levers over here. Parking brakes also off. We have some wind. Need to use all the rudder pedal, left and right, to align with the outsider line. So you can see the airspeed here is increasing, 130, 5 knots. So we have a V1. We rotate. Landing gear up. We depart north. You can see the wing view. After departure, see what happens when I move the side stick, the wings deflect the spoilers to make the aircraft roll on the islands. Also, you can see the tail what it's doing on the airplane. Gonna make a turn and come back for loading. Can also connect the autopilot, see how the airplane we're gonna follow its flight line. Navigation. You can see the airspeed 199 knots, the altitude 8,200 feet. Keep climbing. We'll disconnect the autopilot now. This is the Embraer 195 aircraft. Use a little bit more thrust. You can see the airport. Gonna climb a little bit more and then come back flying. We'll have the cruise altitude over here, 10,000, which is actually the initial climb altitude. We need to change it later to a higher level. Then we can still climb and we'll change it later. This is the airport below us. I'll come back after landing in a while. I'll fly through the mountains over here, Seattle Mountain. Come back after landing again. We'll have it. Now we're heading south a little bit to the east, southeast direction. 144, 150 maybe degrees. South and east. And we have the heading of the runway. Fly over the mountains. And we're coming back after landing. Embraer 195 airplane. Embraer original British. Quite agile, like a fighter jet. Get high enough. Can also we are 20. So 22,000. 300 feet, so here we need to start turning back into the airport. We'll follow this flight one. We have the mountain also, as you can see. The one we follow every time. What happens when you push around the yoke or make turns. Gonna follow the flag line also. We're 6,000 meters right now, a bit more. Right over the mountain over here, see how we stay. Cutting the chemtrails. I'm gonna start out making a turn over here, over the mountain. See our mountains. Maybe we can roll this airplane. Turn it around, as you can see. Wow. Like a fighter jet, and this is stolen recovery. When we make a roll, but I don't really like it doing that. But it's part of the training, so that's stupid thing. So now we're going back after a stall, after a roll. Like a F-16, like a fighter jet. Smaller airplane, so it's out there. Let's see. So you have to do in the training the stall and recovery, roll and stall your airplane. So now we're going back in the airport. I'm gonna retract some of the flaps we don't need. And accelerate. And now we follow the flag and back to the airport. Right now we are at the setting right now. We might be over the airport right now. I'm gonna cross out through some clouds. I'm gonna see the airport here. Here it is, we're gonna overfly. Come back after landing. Can use the speed brakes. Slow us down. Cross the airport over here, come flying. You can see the Embraer airplane, very popular. And some thrust from time to time also.
Sink right, sink right, sink right, sink
use all the flaps. You see the engine's mode changed to approach mode. That's why there was this sound. Approach idle, I guess. And we're gonna use flap same like in the landing. Keep the setting. Gonna follow the same route again for approach and landing. Because it's nice to see the yoke. Gonna use ILS localizer. Approach. So you can see we are at 195 knots, Mach 0.3. Localizer for 1. And we're gonna have also the ILS. We're 6,300 feet. We keep the setting. We are in the approach for the airport. You can see the thrust from the engines here. The N1, which is the low speed status of low pressure compressor tube and the turbofan towards the engine. N2, which is the high speed status of high pressure compressor tube and the turbofan towards the engine. Fuel on board, left and right wing, center tank, oil pressure, temperature, flaps 4, stabilizer trim, yaw pitch trim 1 degree up, horizontal tail trim. So we can trim up or down. A little bit more idle here for the approach. Gonna have the airport behind us. Make a turn and come back for landing. Need to start out the turn. We need to descend right now. Make a 180 degrees turn. 4,600 feet. This is the maximum turn, bank turn. Gonna add some thrust. Use also the rudder pedals for the turn. Right turn, right rudder. But too much is gonna make a Dutch roll the aeroplane. So we need to be aligned with the runways over here. Let it gear down. So now we are in the approach. A bit less thrust as we are approaching. Now we are aligned with the runway. You see the runways over here. We're gonna make, if we can, 2 touch and goes and 1 full stop landing like the other times, the other videos that I saw you. You can see the beacon here, the other airport. To be a little bit to the left. This is the flight director. Now we're going to be aligned with the runway. A little bit more thrust. So we need to follow these lines here, these stars, over to the airport. So this is the approach for landing. Less thrust now. We have the yaw damper off over here for approach and landing. A little bit more power or less. Got some wind sometimes, side wind, so we need compensate a bit from time to time. And to increase the rate of descent now. We're gonna glide over the runway with less engine power. You can see visually we are aligned with the runway. Need to add a little bit more thrust.
500. 400.
Less thrust.
300.
Increase the rate of descent.
Sink rate, sink rate, sink rate, sink rate, sink rate, sink rate.
200.
Leveling off.
100. 50. 40. 30.
Here's the touchdown. Very beautiful touchdown, center line, as you can see. So we have a full center line landing. And now we can go again one more time. So gonna add power over here. Speed brakes are retracted also. So we're going. Landing gear up. Speed brakes are retracted at the moment. So we turn back to the airport. To the airport approach actually. So need to be aligned again with the lines, the 5 line. There will be less power. Need to climb. And also this is the cockpit. Almost a night view. I've not seen a while. A little bit more thrust. Gonna have the runways abeam, the airport. Here it is abeam, and in the opposite direction now we fly northwest. It is the airport. It's wing view. So we're gonna come back for landing one more time. Gonna fly the approach one more time. So we are 4,800 feet above the sea level, the airspeed 180, 4 knots, we're heading 325 degrees, we need to make a turn in a couple of minutes, back to the airport. You can see the thrust levers position, the speed brakes are retracted, all the flaps at 4. Position 4, I think it's 25 degrees something. Embraer. I'm gonna start the turn. You can see again now the wings effect when I make a turn. The spoilers and now the ailerons movement. So we need to make a 180 degrees turn back to the airport. It's more idle. So now we turn for the approach, maximum back turn. Use also right rudder for the right turn. Make more steep turns. So gonna be in the approach again. Use a bit more thrust now. Use idle. Let the gear down again. The flaps are set. Need to be aligned now with the runway. Gonna use a little bit more power again. And we're gonna be aligned with the runway. Let's go turn now the airplane, and you can see climb or descent. Climb, descent. Now we are aligned as we want to be. This is our final approach. Need to add a little bit more power again, leveling off a bit, and make it a little bit to the right this time because the wind opposite the airplane. And we have a little more thrust.
1,000.
Remove all the thrust. Less thrust now. So you can see the approach, how it looks like over the air data. So gonna maintain VFR. Visual flight rules. We can use all the ILS also. Use a little bit more thrust.
1,000.
Will be aligned. Make it a little bit to the right. Use a little bit the right rudder pedal to compensate for the wind when it took side slip and crab the airplane. A little bit more power again.
400. 300.
Then remove all the power. Gonna glide now on the runway.
200. 200. 100.
Gonna center line.
40.
Flare out the airplane. Here we go again, center line landing. Very beautiful. And now we go again for one more flight. We have slow graphics, so we add power. Slow frames per second. It's gonna take like a minute or two. It's a lot of gear up. So gonna make a turn and come back after landing again. Gonna have the night landing, the night lights. Inside the cockpit. So gonna turn now. 180 degrees. How about the runway? We have this beautiful cockpit view, the night lighting. Perhaps we're gonna arm. So we're gonna be flying a beam out to the runway, a little bit more thrust. Gonna come faster. Here is the runway. We're flying out with the airplane. So you can see again all the spoilers and all the ailerons extend. Nicer view now with the night colors. A little bit more power. I'm gonna follow the approach again. Flying in the opposite direction of the runway. Adding some thrust again. Now we have the full cockpit beautiful night view. Colors and now you can see we are approaching now. It's gonna make we are 2,800 feet, 187 the airspeed. Let's start our turn. Here we take the turn. Now we need to make a 90-degree turn. I'm gonna use right rudder pedal also to increase the rate of turn. Maybe we can add some power also. Landing gear is gonna be down. Here we are aligned with the runway. Be aligned. Here we are, the runway. We need less thrust. Spoilers arm. Flap set. This is the approach again, and we have 2,200 feet. A little bit more thrust. We also need to align with the runway. Center line. So we have wind from this side. We need to side slip again to the right side and grab the airplane into the runway. Center line. Going to be removing the power and adding the power again from time to time. A little bit more. We need to be aligned again now with the center line. So we're gonna glide the airplane now over to the runway. We need to increase the rate of descent.
Sink rate, sink rate, sink rate, sink rate.
300.
Gonna level off now. Pull the yoke or the side stick back for the flare.
50. 40.
It's up slightly. Idle. And now here we go. Parking brakes in full. Thrust reverse. Speed brakes also. And our wings slowing down, as you can see. also thrust reverse. Gonna make a full stop. You can see we are in the center line. Now the aircraft is moving back from the thrust reverse. Set down the parking brakes. You can see how center line now we are in the ladder all 3 times with this airplane. Because the small is easy to maneuver for center line. So you can see the landing gear is safe, there is no broken parts, and now the nose wheel also in the front. So you can see the landing gear parts, no broken wheels, no broken tires. Now the front. So we're gonna make the walk around to see the details of all the aeroplane wheels, the nose wheel, no broken parts, landing gear behind it also. It's starting up the way it should be. And now the runway. So landing gear. See inside also. You see the systems over here of the aeroplane Embraer. Status. You see engine oil level, pressure, temperatures, flight, batteries, flight controls. You see the deflect. Now move out the side stick. Or the yoke. You also saw the deflection of the airplane flight controls if they have a problem. So I'll show you a little bit the systems. Hydraulics, pressure, quantity, 3000 psi, it's left and right and center where it goes. The elevator, spoilers, brakes, ailerons, nose wheel steering, parking brakes, and engine 1 and engine 2 thrust reverse, hydraulic, fuel left and right wing, how much fuel we have. Here's the fuel pumps open and feed the engines, the APU also, temperature of the fuel, electrical, left and right engine driven, alternate current generators, IDGs, voltage 115 volts for rubbers, DC bus essential, ECS cooling, air conditioning, anti-ice, wing and engine anti-ice over here. So you see the status. We need also So we see again now the landing gear, the nose wheel. They're safe, no broken parts. So we can fly again the airplane. You see the landing gear. The nose wheel is safe. And the walk around. Check. You can also look how much runway we have available after landing. So this again the landing gear, the nose wheel. Landing gear safe, all the wheels, and our parts also the nose wheel. So we can fly the Embraer 195 one more time. Three landings and no broken wheels. No center line. So this was Thomas Hatsios, German-American Bell flying the Embraer 195 into next flight. We did a beautiful flight, 3 takeoffs, 3 landings, 2 touch and goes. And now we'll see you the next flight, Embraer 195, X-Plane 11, or another aircraft, Boeing 737, Boeing 777, 787, Airbus A330, or